Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are around the world, tuning in to the JNF Alexander Mos High School in Israel radio station located in Hod HaSharon, Israel. We are back for another edition of
Sinai Says.
Sinai Says. It's awesome. I love it. Sinai Says, where we're going to discuss Jewish values.
Absolutely.
And we have a special guest with us here today, Ayala Marudi. Can you say hi again?
Hi again.
Can you tell that she's Australian, ladies and gentlemen? Probably not. Ayala Marudi is our special guest for today's show.
Learn.
What's that?
I'm here to learn.
You're here to learn. You can tell there's the accent. And Ayala is our executive assistant, who actually is the glue, what I would say is binding all that takes place on campus and beyond. So don't let that fool you. Ayala, we're going to be talking today about the Chafetz Chaim, who was a commentator, rabbi, posek, who wrote what's called here the Hashiur HaYomi, the daily learning. And we're going to go according to the Hebrew calendar. Today is Yud Daled in Sivan, the 14th in the month of Sivan. And I'm going to do a little quick reading and translating. We're going to discuss just some of the values here that the Chafetz Chaim is trying to bring to light. Okay? He writes about To'elet HaKoneh, the benefit of the customer or the purchaser, the buyer. To'elet HaKoneh היא תחום חשוב, אך רגיש, שבו מותר לספר דברים שמטרתם לתועלת. The benefit of the purchaser is a important aspect and sensitive, אך רגיש, שבו מותר לספר דברים, where you are allowed to talk about things whose goal, שמטרתם לתועלת, is for the benefit. The Chafetz Chaim talks a lot about Lashon Hara and the forbiddance of speaking ill of others, causing pain to others through our words and through language. But here he says there is a benefit to speaking about this when its goal is to benefit. Okay? אם חנווני מחזיר ללקוח פחות עודף מן המגיע לו. If a shopkeeper returns to the customer, gives back the customer less change from the purchase than that which is supposed to be, meaning if he doesn't give him enough change, או שהוא מחייב אותו בתשלום עבור מצורך שהלקוח לא רכש, or that the shopkeeper charges extra to the customer from what the customer actually purchased. אסור להסיק מכך, we cannot deduce from such, שהחנווני אינו הגון, או שהוא רשלן. We cannot deduce from this that the chenvani, the shopkeeper, is not playing fair, right? Or that he is doing something that is really evil. Right? Let's stop there. Anything you want to say about this?
Well, honestly, this is something, actually, it's funny because this actually ties into the previous thing we did, talking about the relationship between the student and the teacher and Lashon Hara. So one of the things is, to give it a more modern example, say you're in a shop, anything from getting the incorrect amount of change to you've heard bad things about the shop. These are things where it's sort of, I mean, very simple. It's pretty minor stuff, but there's a bit of a moral gray area. And obviously, for example, if you get an incorrect amount of change back, is it what is better to give back the extra change you got or to keep it? Because, or if you heard something bad about the shop, to tell others because it might save them, or
not. And actually, you just preceded the rest of this message here.
Oh, did I? Oh.
You're pretty good. You're pretty good, Jake. So let's get this back to this real quick. And the Chafetz Chaim explains, Kulanu to'im po v'sham. We all make mistakes here and there. We've all done it before. It's not something new. Im hadvarim mitrachashim leitim krovot. However, if these things happen closer in time, meaning it's repetitive, this quote-unquote mistake, Yesh lehaviam letzumat lev hachenvani. There is a requirement to bring it to heart, the attention of the shopkeeper. Uleudia she'im yamshicho, and to explain that if this continues, lo yeh manos legalgulotam milegalotam lakahal hakonav, that there will be no stopping the customers from finding out about this if the shopkeeper continues with this quote-unquote mistake of either charging more than is necessary, or not giving back enough change to the customer. Im bechol zot lo chal shinui b'matzav. However, if nonetheless after this warning the situation is not changed, כי אז חייבים להזהיר את הקונים, כי יבדקו היטב את העודף שהם מקבלים ואת החשבונות הקנייה שלהם. Then, if it doesn't stop, it is required to notify customers or to warn customers that they should be checking thoroughly the amount of change they get back and the receipts that they receive to make sure that they haven't been charged for more for something else that they didn't purchase. Now, I don't know how to go about that. How do you go and warn people that, hey, this guy, you got to keep sure of the change you're getting, and you got to make sure that you check your receipt. What do you just stand outside the shop?
These days, there's social media. These days, we've got a voice for the rest of the world that's on the internet.
And that's why
it's called Secret Tel Aviv.
It's called Secret Tel Aviv.
In Secret Tel Aviv, I see all the time people posting, "Don't go to this place; they overcharge me. It's this and that." It's the
but
exact
again,
same
you
thing.
still need to be careful because you can be sued by the
That's
shopkeeper itself if it's not correct.
To all our listeners out there, Secret Tel Aviv is a secret Facebook group.
It's a very poorly kept secret. It's a public Facebook group.
It's actually called Secret Tel Aviv.
We have a secret Hod Hashanah as well.
We have
and Secret Herzliya.
I wasn't invited to those. But anyway, so that's, yes, we have social media, so there is a way to communicate these things, which is very, very important. Asur, however, he says, Asur lirmoz sheba'al ha'esek bilti agun. However, we cannot go ahead and hint to the fact that the owner of this business is not fair. So we can warn people, or we ought to warn people to check their change or to check their receipt after purchase. And we can do that with social media and other sort of vehicles of communication. But we cannot hint to the fact that the owner is not a fair person. Let's see why. Even if there is a sense of suspicion to it, that yes, this guy is not a fair guy, even if you think and feel, or your intuition tells you this guy is not fair, still you can't go ahead and hint that to the public. Because it's enough that the purchasers, that the customers, should consider that this guy is making these mistakes or such, right? In order to be careful about how we speak about this person. And he continues, the Chafetz Chaim, כמו כן, אסור לספר זאת ליחידים מהרי חימה העלולים לדוגמה לבזוז את החנות למען הצדק. And you can't say these things to people because what can happen, what can result in this situation, is that people may take the law into their own hands and rob or break into this store for the sake of justice, leman hatzedek, for the sake of justice. They might say, oh, this guy is a bad guy, we've been hearing from everyone, he is unfair, he's unjust, let's break into the store and steal his things, and so on and so forth. Tell me, why do you think that that's not the right thing to do? Why ought not people rebel, protest against the shopkeeper who may be doing, or this may be happening, where people aren't getting the right change back and or being charged for things that they're not purchasing?
I mean, for me personally, my opinion is how they act in the role of the shopkeeper. I mean, that's their job. It's sort of divorced from how they are as a person, in a way. I mean, you can be a terrible person and be a good shopkeeper, and be a great person and not be a very good shopkeeper. So what I think Chafetz Chaim is trying to hit upon is sort of, you have to divorce the personality, the personal aspects of that person, I keep saying that word, sorry, and the actual business, the store itself.
Mm-hmm.
Like his intention, don't just
Assume
that his intentions are bad. Maybe he really is making a mistake. Maybe he's,
exactly.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So you're saying giving him the benefit of the doubt.
Yes.
Which is an important Jewish value, kav zechut, right? Giving people the benefit of the doubt, because you don't really know. Maybe this person has some sort of an illness and is forgetful, or maybe this person is bad at math. I'm bad at math. I probably give myself more change than I need back.
I definitely think, I mean, that's absolutely part of it. And also sort of the aspect of it, of the difference between trying to be honest and holding them to a good standard, and the difference between libel and slander. Like, you can't just go out and slander somebody's name of, oh, I saw this person do this and that. You have to have some sort of basis for it, because in the end, the person you're really hurting is that person and their business and their livelihood.
Yeah, but this person's been taking money from you. This person's been charging you for items that you haven't purchased. You might say to yourself, hey, what am I, in Israel there's a term called faya. What am I, a sucker? What am I, faya? I'm not faya, I'm no sucker. I'm going to take the law into my own hands. So what do we learn out of this? What's the bottom line here that the Chafetz Chaim is trying to teach us?
not to take the law into our own hands.
Not to take the law into our own hands. Very nice.
I definitely agree with that, but I also say sort of to give the person a benefit of a doubt, to make sure that they are definitely, I mean, ask them, bring it up to them and be honest, but also you have to have some sort of basis. You have to be fair with them.
So I'd like to have a final word here. I think, this last sentence, "Lavuz tachanut leman hatzedek," he includes the word justice. And I think today, this word justice is thrown around a lot. Social justice, tikkun olam, what is right, what is wrong, politically, religiously. I think that there are too many chefs in the kitchen, too many hands in the cookie jar, trying to interpret what is tzedek, what is justice, and when is it right and when is it wrong. Now, I don't know what the answer is, but I think this is a very important element here that the Chafetz Chaim raises, is, when he says, and we ought not be in a situation where people will start breaking into this store, even though this person may have been giving the wrong amount of change or has been adding items to your purchase, even though you didn't purchase these things, right? Nonetheless, we ought not be spreading the word in order to avoid people from coming and robbing and breaking into this store for the sake of justice.
To do wrong for the sake of justice.
Because it might be a slippery slope. What does justice mean? You might find people going out to the streets and doing harmful acts and, God forbid, anything that we wouldn't want to see to people in the street, because they assume, and maybe they only got half the story, that this person committed something that was injustice or unjust, without knowing the whole story. So, ladies and gentlemen out there, that's the lesson for today. Don't take justice into your own hands until you've thoroughly investigated, understood the story, and always give someone else the benefit of the doubt. Kav zechut.
Definitely. Thank you all for tuning in. We're going to try and make this a weekly thing. I know we said daily the last time, but unfortunately we've been busy. We're going to try and make it a weekly thing. And we thank you all for tuning in and for listening. And hopefully you take something away from this.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank our special guest, Ayala Marudi, for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Always invited. And we want to thank everyone for tuning in to Sinai Says here at the JNF AMHSI radio station in Hod HaSharon, Israel. Wishing everyone a wonderful and productive week ahead. Shavua Tov.